The situation in Ukraine continues to evolve, with significant developments on multiple fronts. From strategic military operations to international arms deals, the conflict shows no signs of slowing down. The Russian National Antiterrorism Committee announced a counterterrorism operation in Belgorod, Bryansk, and Kursk Oblasts on August 9th due to the Ukrainian incursion into Kursk Oblast. This operation allows Russian authorities to take various measures, such as suspending communication services and entering private property. The Kremlin opted for this counterterrorism operation instead of declaring martial law or a formal state of war. This decision seems aimed at minimizing domestic panic and avoiding a full-scale mobilization, which could trigger significant unrest within Russia. The choice reflects the Kremlin's reluctance to escalate the situation further. Ukrainian forces have made slight advances in Kursk Oblast, despite Russian efforts to repel them. The Russian Ministry of Defense has deployed a combination of conscripts, elements of the northern grouping of forces, and units redeployed from less critical frontline areas. These forces have reportedly managed to slow the Ukrainian advance, particularly after reinforcements from the 810th Naval Infantry Brigade and other units arrived. However, the redeployment of these forces from other key areas in Ukraine may lead to vulnerabilities elsewhere, potentially weakening Russia's broader defensive posture. The Kremlin's increasing reliance on conscripts to defend the Russian state border with Ukraine, especially in Kursk Oblast, is raising political concerns. Reports surfaced on August 10th about families of Russian conscripts voicing complaints regarding their involvement in frontline operations. This situation echoes previous controversies in 2022 and 2023, when Russia faced societal backlash for deploying conscripts in combat roles. Although these complaints are still limited, they could potentially grow into a more significant movement, posing a political crisis for the Kremlin as it struggles to justify the controversial use of conscripts in these operations. On the night of August 8th to 9th, Ukraine's main military intelligence directorate launched a successful strike on a Russian patrol boat and a gas platform in the western Black Sea. The directorate's Group 13 unit managed to damage the Russian Tunets high-speed patrol boat near occupied the Crimea. Additionally, Ukrainian naval drones reportedly damaged 3 other Russian watercraft. Ukrainian forces also struck a Russian gas platform, which was being used for GPS spoofing to disrupt the Ukraine grain corridor. These strikes highlight Ukraine's ongoing efforts to challenge Russian dominance in the Black Sea. Iran is reportedly set to deliver hundreds of ballistic missiles to Russia soon, according to multiple intelligence sources. The deal, signed on December 13, 2023, includes the delivery of Fatah 360 close-range ballistic missiles, which have a maximum range of 120 kilometers and a 150-kilogram warhead. Russian military personnel are already in Iran training to operate these systems. The introduction of these missiles will likely allow Russia to strike Ukrainian near-rear targets more effectively, while preserving its own missile stockpiles for deeper strikes, potentially complicating Ukraine's defensive efforts. The Kremlin continues to adapt its military capabilities in response to Western sanctions. On August 10th, the Russian United Aircraft Corporation announced the production of a new batch of Su-30 SM-2 fighter jets, featuring Russian-produced components that replace the foreign parts used in earlier models. Additionally, Russian forces are reportedly using Iranian-produced 130mm artillery shells on the front lines. These adaptations highlight Russia's ongoing efforts to bypass Western sanctions and sustain its military operations in Ukraine, despite the challenges posed by restricted access to foreign technology and materials. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko announced on August 10th that Belarus would strengthen its military presence along the border with Ukraine in response to Ukraine's incursion into Kursk Oblast. Belarus claimed to have destroyed roughly a dozen Ukrainian drones on August 9th. Additionally, Belarusian Defense Minister Viktor Krenin labeled Ukraine's actions as provocations and stated that Belarus would bolster its groupings in the Gomel and Mozyr tactical directions. These actions indicate Belarus's continued support for Russia's invasion of Ukraine, as well as its growing involvement in the conflict on the side of the Kremlin.